Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Kanushi's Corner. I am Kanushi, and today we are looking at the Squirreled Away Bloomburrow Commander deck for this episode. Right now, this thing clocks in at a price of about $70 on TCG Player. If you can find it for below that and really like squirrels, it's just picking it up. The value inside is 127 on MTG Goldfish and 124.21 according to Moxfield, with it set to I think TCG Player, if I remember right. So there's your kind of general value points as far as what's going on with it. Horde tokens, squirrels. Of course, usual, battle your friends in epic multiplayer commander format. Be prepared for anything when you're stocked up on tokens with Hazel of the Root Bloom. Spend all your hoarded tokens on mana and clean house with a surprise horde of terrifying spells. Hazel herself leads a shadowy faction of nature worshippers and will go to any length to preserve balance for her community. So let's get into it. Hey. Alright. This deck is nuts. Okay. Pretty good. Pretty good. Turn the lights this way. Okay, so here we go. We have a little insert. Cool. There you go. Cool little insert. Flip it over. There's your tokens you got. Very nice. Cool. Pop those out later. So, here's the deck. Nice stuff. I'm missing something. There we go. Alright, so in here we have the Collector Booster Sample Pack. We'll get to that in a little bit. Put the box together. Really cool deck box. I like continuously that they're making them more with the fit in and not the pop over. Good stuff. Nice. The art, the colors. Golgari action. Let's go to the insert here. And there's that box art again. Good stuff. Hazel of the Root Bloom. The Cash Master Hazel's name is only spoken in whispers amongst the populace of Bloomburrow, a threat to lord over the heads of misbehaving children. Like a boogie squirrel. She is the enigmatic leader of the Belladonna, a resistance faction both vicious and covert in their bid to reclaim the world for nature. Interesting. Once a mere cash worker for a humble farming commune, Hazel grew enraged by her community's unsustainable practices and mistreatment of nature and swore to change them. It's pretty cool. So she's a big activist. I like that. Very neat. She gained infamy through rousing speeches and powerful druidic magic, eventually seizing control of her commune after its old leader mysteriously passed, though the cause of his death is yet unknown. Some say it looked frighteningly similar to nightshade poisoning. Hazel is seldom seen nowadays, preferring to cloak herself in a shroud of mystique. When she does emerge, extraordinary feats of magic are sure to follow. She still closely monitors the food caches of her commune. Her magic once even bridled the calamity beast of spring and uses extraordinary... Okay, she bad. That's cool. Used its extraordinary magic to entomb an entire village under a grove of berry bushes as tall as the trees. Haughty and stern, Hazel is known for her hair-trigger temper and cold, burning anger. But those who know her well say she's a secret softie, not to mention a fantastic boss. So, rebel, leader, calamity beast tamer. It's pretty cool. Here's the card art. Try to get that. It's really cool. Hazel of the Root Bloom. To play the deck, squirrels just want to have fun. You stockpile a stack of snacks and squirrels with Hazel of the Root Bloom. With Hazel's ability to use all of your assorted tokens to add mana, you can cast more and bigger spells to stay ahead of competition. So it's a big artifact deck. That's cool. This deck features a handful of squirrel synergies to turn those little rodents into a fearsome force. To harvest wins by creating copies of whatever kind of token best suits your strategy. Good stuff. Very good stuff. This proves, yes, squirrels do just want to have fun. Ha 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 ha. I've said that joke so much now. Okay. Not even just in this video, like in general. So here's that Hazel card. There we go. You can tap or pay 2 life, tap X, untap tokens, and add X mana in any combination of colors. At the beginning of your end step, create a token that's a copy of target token you control. If that token is a squirrel, instead create 2. So, she can make you a good amount of mana. There's some life gain in here, of course. The green-black Golgari combo, good stuff. I like the foiling on the card. Come on, camera focus. Good radish. Maybe that's a beat. I don't know. It's harvest time. This is the alt commander, the odd acorn gang. This is a cool squirrels matter. You can like use your squirrels to beef up other squirrels and squirrel damage equal draw cards. Yep. Pretty cool, dude. Then here is the Garuk. He is a bear, badger. I can't remember if he's a bear or a badger. He's a big old ferocious thing, though. I think he's just supposed to be a badger because they're like smaller. But yep, he is the Cursed Huntsman. He can do a lot of good stuff. I'm gonna leave it a moment. Y'all can read that. Create 2. Destroy a target creature, draw a card, get an emblem. Yeah, so he's a good piece to just power everything up. Where this enters, create a number of 1/1 black rat creature tokens equal to the number of opponents you have. Sacrifice stuff and take stuff down. So that's good. Destroy stuff. I love when I first saw this art. It's different. It's always different seeing it in person. Whenever I love it. It's like he's this vampire squirrel. Or rat, excuse me, vampire rat. What is a squirrel but a rat with a fluffy tail, right? Whenever Insatiable Frugivore enters, you create a token, then you can exile 3 cards from your graveyard. If you do, you make a food, and then you can exile 3 cards from your graveyard, and you see the bit. Then you can pay 4, sacrifice X food. All of your creatures get menace and attack equal to the food sacrificed. Moonstone Eulogist. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, create a blood token. Whenever you sacrifice an artifact, put a 1/1 counter on Moonstone Eulogist, gain a life. That's good stuff. Swarmyard Massacre, create 2 1/1 green squirrel creature tokens. Then each creature that isn't an insect or rat or squirrel gets -1 until end of turn for each creature you control that is an insect, rat, spider, or squirrel. So, yep, squirrels do matter. Hazel's Brewmaster, whenever it enters or attacks, exile up to 1 target card from a graveyard and make a food. So, yep, some graveyard hate. And foods you control have all activated abilities of all creature cards exiled with this. It's pretty cool. Woe Strider. This enters, you make a goat, you can sacrifice a creature, scry 1, you can escape it. It escapes bigger than it was before. Saw in half. This is now it's more than Infinity. Here we go. But yep. So you can turn your 1 eel into 2 eels. Ogre Slumlord. Whenever another non-token creature dies, you create a rat, and rats have death touch. So, yeah, that's nice. everything's kind of high mana, but then you make a lot of mana, so it works out. Destroy all creatures that can't be regenerated. Draw a card for each creature destroyed. The card's not like bad. I've seen, those are some high mana. This past two. This one, when it's good. It gives food support to this, so you get more tokens. But I also would love a copy of this. Struggling to focus there. But I would also love a copy of this in the Gruul one. I think the Gourmand's Talent would be good. It does a lot of stuff. It makes you food whenever you gain life. You make a raccoon whenever you gain life. Put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. I don't know. I think it would be really good in that one. Makes you food, beef stuff up. This kind of does too. Rootcast Apprentice. Hate the pixelation on the camera. Definitely going to have to look into getting a new one of those eventually. And if you want to help me get a new camera, feel free to donate. Those are on my channel, the donation links for our production business. Here's a double Myriad Squirrel. Deals combat damage to a player. Put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. It's 3 mana for 2/2. Hey, End Race Forerunners. This is pretty good. Gives all your stuff Vigilant, Trample, +2/+2. You can really finish the game out with this one. It's a good finish the game out card. This one, here we go. We're making some spiders now. I got an enchantment creature. If your opponents cast instants or sorceries, you make spiders with reach. So it's some flying defense. I like to see flying defense. Whenever it's a vanishing 3, interesting. This creature enters with 3 time counters. Remove a time counter when this would be cool in a Doctor Who deck. You could stick it around for longer. Time travel with it. Whenever this enters, create 4 1/1 green squirrels. Squirrels get +1/+1. I mean, I'm not saying it'd be great there, but it's just, I like time travel. I think it's a silly mechanic. Here we go. Toski, Bearer of Secrets, a formative squirrel in his own right, reprinted here. It can't be countered, indestructible. When he attacks each combat if able, and whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. So, really nice squirrel. Beastmaster's Ascension. Another kind of finisher card here. 3 mana. You put it out, you attack with 7 creatures, and then it gets 7 quest counters, and all those creatures get +5/+5. So, really good thing. Second Harvest. For each token you control, create a token that's a copy of it. So it literally just doubles all your tokens. Really good. Shamanic Revelation. Draw a card. For each creature you control, you gain 4 life if their power is 4 more. So this could do some work in here. We're on Go Wide Squirrels. Speaking of, here's a Chatterfang. That's really nice. You get a Chatterfang in here as well. Another formative squirrel type commander. So it's got a bunch of hits in it for for just good squirrel stuff. Forest Walk. If 1 or more tokens would be created under your control, those plus that many squirrels are created instead. Great. I see why people like him. I never really read the card. I hear reading the card explains the card. Casualties of War. Big Golgari blow stuff up. It's like Decimate, but worse. I feel like. For any number of opponents, destroy target non-land permanent that player controls. Wins Grace. Good old Maskwood Nexus. Now all your stuff is all stuff. All your stuff is all stuff. Pay 3, tap it, make a thing that is all things. Love that card. Love this card. Really great one. If you make clue, food, or treasure instead, do that. And then you could potentially copy this somehow. Then you have 2 of them. And then if you make a clue or food or whatever, you get 9 of them because you have 2 of them. And that's math. Temple of Malady. We're on some lands now. Scry 1. Enters tapped unless you control swamp or forest. These are all good. This is good stuff. Boron Reef. This one's, it can be good. Maybe replace that one. This one's nice. Can save your stuff. I like that. That's cool. Love this Exotic Orchard. The new art does what this card does. The art, I think, does more justice in this way. It's very cool. Llanowar Waste. Kind of hurts you a little bit, potentially. Good stuff. Maybe you could filter all this out somehow. Sacrifice creature, draw a card. Costs a lot of mana for that. That's a cool one. Grim Backwoods. Never seen that one before. It's cool. Honkers. Love me a good honkers. Gilded Goose. Look at him. Honk, honk. Look at him with his golden eggs. Love that. Birds of Paradise, but with food, pretty much. It's funny. He's just hiding near the end of the lands. He's hiding in the lands. That's funny as heck. Twilight Mire. There you go. Can double some stuff. It's an artifact with a squirrel on it. That's cool. It's a squirrel with a little, like, I guess an acorn portal. I don't know. Maybe it's like a bag of holding for squirrels. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may sacrifice a token. If you do, put an acorn counter on this. Squirrels you control get +1/+1 for each acorn counter. And then you can use it to make squirrels. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's like, yeah, I guess so. Magic Squirrel Portal. Maelstrom Pulse. Destroy target non-land permanent. And all other permanents with the same name as that permanent. Ooh, this thing looks cool. Belladros Witherbloom. This must be from Strixhaven. Because it's Witherbloom. Yeah, this is another one of the big mana dudes. Flying at the beginning of each upkeep. Create a pest. When this creature dies, gain a life. Pay 10 life. Untap all lands. Activate only once each turn. Ooh, that could be... That's crazy. Idol of Oblivion, really good draw spell for this. If you make a token, tap it, draw a card. Sword of the Squeak. That's adorable. A quick creature gets +1/+1 for each creature you control with base power, toughness 1. That could get nuts, unless you've already beefed your squirrels up. But anyway, whenever a hamster, mouse, rat, or squirrel, little tiny boys, you may attach this to it. Okay, yeah, so you can also just pop that around a lot. Morbid Opportunist. Whenever one or more other creatures die, draw a card. This ability triggers only once each turn. Cool. Once each turn. I love once each turn, not only on your turn, whatever's, because in Commander, that means you can get it a lot. Whenever Playcrafter enters, each player sacrifices a creature or planeswalker. Each player who can't discards a card. So that's cool. Sacrifice stuff. Nadier's Nightblade. Whenever a token you control leaves the battlefield, each opponent loses a life and you gain a life. Oh, yeah. I have this card in a bunch of stuff. Really, really good. Really good. As an additional cost to cast this spell, Plumb the Forbidden. I haven't been reading the names. Oh, well, you can read them. You have eyes, I hope. And if you can't, then I am sorry I have not been reading the names. Plumb the Forbidden. As an additional cost to cast this spell, you may sacrifice one or more creatures. When you do, copy the spell. For each creature sacrificed this way, you draw a card and you lose 1 life. Bastion of Remembrance. This is an enchantment. Whenever it enters, you make a dude. He's a 1/1 white human soldier creature token. 2 and a black. That's cool. Whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent loses a life and you gain a life. So yeah, there you go. There's your life gain, and cool. That was gonna be me. A lot green, but there's a lot of black cards to do it. Cash grab. I saw this one in a pre-release I went to. And mill for cards. You may put a permanent card from among the milled cards in your hand if you control a squirrel, or return a squirrel card to your hand this way. Make a food. So yeah, it's a cool little Chatterstorm. Create a squirrel token and it has storm. So that could potentially get you a lot of squirrels, depending on what you're playing against and how you're playing. Old Divine Reclamation. Whenever a creature you control dies, gain 1 life, draw a card. It's a nice enchantment there. It's a creature, Poison Tip Archer. Whenever another creature dies, each opponent loses a life. So yeah, there's just a bunch of, like, even if your squirrels are going off the board or you're sacking them or something, you're going to be gaining life, making people lose life. Hopefully you can get like 1 or 2 of those pieces in play. It's going to be really cool. Whenever you sacrifice Ravenous Squirrels, a creature, whenever you sacrifice an artifact or creature, put a 1/1 counter on this. Here you go. Yep, we're still doing it. Sacrifice an artifact or creature, you gain 1 life, draw a card. So for some mana here, you can sack stuff, enable other things, and it's going good. Skyfisher Spider. Whenever it enters, you may sacrifice another creature, destroy target island permanent. If you do that, if this dies, you can gain a life. for each creature card in your graveyard. Yeah, I've played that card before. I like it. Binding the Old Gods. This is another removal, it looks like, because you're destroying target non-land permanent and opponent controls for the first step of the saga. The second step of the saga is search for a forest, put it on the battlefield tapped. And then the third step is creatures gain death touch until end of turn. So it's good like removal, ramp. It's 4 mana, so I don't know. You kind of already would have had to have enough mana to get it out, but ramp later with the big stuff in it. It's not so bad. Golgari Rot Farm. We're on to some more lands now. Jungle Hollow. There's Gain of Life. There's a life gain. Haunted Mire. I have a couple of those in foil. They're really nice looking. Nested Shambler. Whenever this dies, create X tapped 1/1 green squirrel, where X is his power. So that could get out of hand. Deadly Disguise. As an additional cost to cast this, sacrifice an artifact or creature. Draw 2 cards. Create a treasure. So, yeah, nice stuff. Zulaport Cutthroat. It is a creature who, when it or another creature dies, each opponent loses 1, you gain 1. This is another life swapper. Squirrel Sovereign. It's a really proper squirrel there. Gives all your squirrels 1/1. Prosperous Innkeeper. This guy's he fields all realms from the Sword Coast to Lord of the Rings land, Middle Earth. From Sword Coast to Middle Earth to now Bloomburrow. We have the Prosperous Innkeeper. He enters, creating you a treasure, and when another creature enters, you gain life. I love it. I love what I see. Yeah, it's great. It's funny. Whenever this is Haywire Might, whenever this dies, you gain 2 life. You can sacrifice it, exile target non-creature artifact or non-creature enchantment. Tireless Provisioner. It's a good landfall equals food or treasures. This gives you tokens in green. Squirrel Nest. You can enchant a land, and now that land can make you squirrels. Honored Dray Leader. This is a squirrel warrior who, whenever he enters, you put a 1/1 counter on it for each squirrel and or food you control. That could get crazy good. For 3 mana, too. Yeah, Honored Dray Leader. Very nice. Whenever another squirrel or food you control enters, put a 1/1 counter on it. Tear Asunder. This one is a 2 mana with a kicker of 2. Black in the main. Or black in the kicker, green in the main. I said that all stupid. Anyway, exile target artifact or enchantment. If this spell was kicked, you exile target non-land permanent instead. So that's a solid little removal piece there. You can pay 2 to catch an artifact or enchantment, and pay 4 to get pretty much anything that's not a land. So that's nice. This is some ramp here. 2 mana enchant land. Whenever it's tapped for mana, its controller adds an additional green. You can also sacrifice it for 5 mana and make a 2/2 wolf. Neat. Putrefy. Destroy target artifact or creature. It can't be regenerated. Arcane Signet. Cool. So we're on to, it looks like the reprints now. More, the artifact package spot, as I like to call it. Artifact package. Talisman of Resilience. Soul Ring, still, man, just really cool. It's like call it the Otter Soul Ring. Here's a good one, Skull Clamp. Totally forgot to even talk about Skull Clamp here. Really amazing card for this deck because you're going to be spitting out a ton of squirrels, and so it's a really cheap way to just make squirrels, draw cards, do a thing, make more squirrels, draw more cards. Super crazy good here. It's usually abused in this way, and I figure most people know that. But yeah, just wanted to mention that real quick. Fantastic card. Terramorphic Expanse. Path of Ancestry. Evolving Wilds. Command Tower. Love the new art on that one. Tranquil Thicket. This one, pretty cool little cycling land action there. Good old Bajuka Bog. Some more graveyard hate. Cool. We have Tainted Wood, Barren Moor, and some basics here. Just going to fan through them. We got the Swamps for your black mana, then your Forest for your green mana. Quite a few of both of those. Lovely art on all of the swamps in the forest there. Here we have some tokens. Squirrel, squirrel, squirrel. Are you surprised? And Eldrazi. Oh, right. The Idol of Oblivion. Pest, squirrel, human soldier, rat, rat, goat, wolf, raccoon, raccoon, wolf, blood, shapeshifter, maskwood nexus, clue. Oh, the clue is cool. It's really cool. The food is really neat. Love that. Really looks really delicious. And the treasure. Alright. Yeah, so that's really cool. I'm going to sleeve these up. And we'll figure out how it plays. Now, if you made it this far, I appreciate it. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I'm going to go ahead and open that collector booster now. Alright. Here we go. Scrap Shooter. Lovely art on that guy. It's a creature 4/4 for 3 mana. Already like it. You can gift a card to someone. Reach whenever it enters. If the gift was promised, you get to destroy an artifact or an enchantment. Very cool. And then Flame Cash Gecko. 2 mana, 2/2 uncommon. Whenever it enters. Lovely foil on that. I like the way the fire looks. Super cool. Whenever it enters, if an opponent lost life, you add black and red mana, and then you can pay that mana, or you can pay that mana, or any other mana as long as it's a generic and a red. Discard a card, draw a card. Good stuff. Thanks for watching. I hope y'all enjoyed this. It looks like it's a really cool deck. I like all the life loss, life gain, artifact, squirrel strategy. Really cool. Looking forward to it. Thank you all for watching, and until next time, have a good one. Hey everybody, Future Chase here. Just wanted to take a moment to say, since editing and recording and opening this, I have played against this twice now, and it was ridiculous both times. Just the massive acceleration of squirrels onto the field, and how quickly it can use the mana and just do really ridiculous things to drain out opponents or gain life for yourself, or just make 20 3/3 squirrels and give them all 2/2 and trample. And it's yeah. It was really good. Well, thanks for watching. Have a good time. See you next video.